What began as a routine moment outside their home quickly turned into a life-threatening confrontation. A couple had just parked their car and started unloading items when several robbers on motorbikes suddenly rushed in and surrounded them. The attack was fast and calculated. One of the suspects pointed a gun directly at the husband, demanding the vehicle, but the criminals had made a critical mistake. They didn't realize the man's wife was an off-duty police officer. Without hesitation, she reacted to the immediate threat. Drawing her service weapon, she fired to stop the attack. The sudden resistance shattered the ambush. What should have been a routine stop at a gas station turned into every parent's worst nightmare. In a brief but critical lapse, a mother left her keys inside the car, unaware that her baby was still strapped in the back seat. Within seconds, a thief seized the opportunity, jumped behind the wheel, and sped off. But he didn't expect what happened next. Refusing to let her child disappear, the mother launched herself onto the hood of the moving vehicle. Clinging desperately as the car accelerated, she held on with everything she had while the driver swerved in an apparent attempt to shake her loose. She would not let go. Faced with her relentless determination and the growing chaos, the thief eventually abandoned the vehicle and fled on foot. The mother managed to stop the car in the middle of the road before collapsing in shock and exhaustion. It was a moment fueled by pure instinct, a powerful reminder that when a child is in danger, a mother's courage can defy fear itself. What was meant to be a quiet drive home turned into a sudden confrontation when a police officer traveling with his family was targeted by criminals. The threat unfolded in seconds. As the attacker moved in, the officer reacted instantly. From inside the vehicle, he drew his weapon and fired to stop the imminent danger. The unexpected resistance shattered the criminal's plan. Caught off guard, the attacker panicked and fled the scene. A quiet moment outside a home turned into chaos in an instant. As a woman opened her front gate, a pickup truck suddenly sped toward her. Armed men jumped out and rushed forward, closing the distance in seconds. But they hadn't counted on one thing: her husband. Seeing the threat unfold, he reacted without hesitation. Fueled by instinct and determination, he stepped directly into the attacker's path, confronting them before they could reach his wife. The sudden resistance shattered the criminal's confidence. Caught off guard by his fearless response, the robbers faltered and scrambled back toward their vehicle in a disorganized retreat. A quiet moment outside a home turned into chaos in an instant. As a woman opened her front gate, a pickup truck suddenly sped toward her. Armed men jumped out and rushed forward, closing the distance in seconds. But they hadn't counted on one thing: her husband. Seeing the threat unfold, he reacted without hesitation. Fueled by instinct and determination, he stepped directly into the attacker's path, confronting them before they could reach his wife. The sudden resistance shattered the criminal's confidence. Caught off guard by his fearless response, the robbers faltered and scrambled back toward their vehicle in a disorganized retreat. A tense robbery unfolded in Brazil when a man, accompanied by his wife and daughter, was confronted by armed criminals. Faced with an immediate threat, he initially chose to comply, a decision many would view as reasonable, as it prioritized his family's safety above all else. However, the situation took a controversial turn. As the robbers began to leave, the man launched a sudden counterattack. This moment raises a complex legal question. Should the law consider a person's perception of ongoing danger, even if the immediate threat appears to have passed? From a legal standpoint, the use of force after a threat has seemingly ended can be interpreted as intentional assault rather than lawful self-defense. Many legal systems require that defensive force be both necessary and proportional to an active threat. From an ethical perspective, however, his actions may be seen differently. Acting under extreme stress, fear, and protective instinct, he may have believed the danger was not truly over. In high-pressure situations, the boundary between self-defense and unlawful aggression can become blurred. This video serves as an illustration intended to encourage awareness and discussion about the legal limits of self-defense. Understanding these boundaries can help individuals avoid unintended legal consequences in moments of crisis. Feel free to share your perspective. What began as a peaceful afternoon walk along a deserted road quickly turned into a tense confrontation. Without warning, a thief rushed toward a young woman and grabbed her handbag and phone. The road was quiet, and help did not seem immediately available, but she refused to panic. Instead of giving in, she reacted quickly and held on to her belongings, creating a tense struggle between the two. She shouted loudly for help, drawing attention to the situation. As the suspect attempted to flee, she managed to pull her bag back, causing him to lose balance and stumble. Her calls were heard. Within moments, nearby neighbors rushed over. Their presence shifted the situation instantly, and together they surrounded and detained the suspect until authorities could respond. The man had just driven his Land Rover through the gate, unaware that he had been under watch. For several moments, the robbers had tracked his movements. Then, without warning, two armed men jumped from a nearby vehicle and rushed toward him, weapons raised, demanding the car. It was a carefully timed ambush, but the driver reacted instantly. Recognizing the immediate threat, he fired to stop the attackers. The sudden resistance shattered their plan. One suspect was forced back, while the second, startled by the gunfire, panicked and fled the scene. A late-night confrontation unfolded in the Catamito sector of San Bernardo, Chile, when a routine stop at a gas station turned into a life-threatening encounter. According to preliminary reports, a detective from Chile's Investigations Police, PDI, was refueling his vehicle when a car carrying four men pulled up beside him. Within seconds, three suspects exited the vehicle with weapons drawn, issuing threats in what authorities describe as an attempted armed robbery. What the attackers allegedly did not know was that the man they targeted was an armed PDI officer. Faced with an immediate threat, the detective drew his service weapon and responded. Gunfire broke out across the forecourt, sending the scene into chaos. Authorities later confirmed that the three armed suspects were struck and incapacitated during the exchange. After the confrontation ended, the officer requested backup from carabineros and notified gas station staff. Emergency services transported the injured suspects to nearby hospitals under police custody.